I'm doing great. Right now, to be honest, I'm feeling a little awkward. This is like a blind date that our friend sets up for us, you know, and no matter what blind date you're on, you always get that same response when you try to ask them what they're about. Like, oh, describe them to me, and you always get the same answer. They're solid. They're solid. Oh, you'll like them, they're solid. That's not an answer to anything. That's how you describe, you know, bowel movement. Just, oh, man, they're solid. To me, I mean, like, you know, the things I look for is like, you know, they're cute or whatever, but the ultimate one, trustworthy. They have to be trustworthy, you know? Like, I just love trust. And a few, you know, and like the ultimate test of trust, to me, is roommates. You know, people say marriage, relationships, no, that's all crap. It's roommates, because here you are living with a complete stranger, you know? And you have to trust that you won't wake up in the middle of the night with them staring at you drinking their own urine, you know? It's just...
Stop laughing.
That's bad. But like a few years ago, I was looking for a roommate, right? I was living on campus. I'm like, all right, I have enough of this. I'm going to go get my own place. And I needed a roommate. And like, you can, you know, trust that, you know, when you sign a lease or whatever, they'll throw you into an apartment with, you know, without some psycho lunatic.
You know?
So I was like, all right, to avoid all the stress and hassles of dealing with that, I'm going to get my best friend from high school to be my roommate. And looking back now, I really wish I thought about this more out. Because, I mean, what do you really know about your best friend from high school, other than that he's, you know, smart in school and he has fun on the weekends, you know? So, I mean, I called my friend, I was like, hey man, I need an apartment, I need a roommate, man, you in? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? It'll be great. So we go, we sign the lease, ooh, we're in. You know, and the problem with that is, you know, it's easier nowadays to get out of a marriage than it is to get out of a lease of an apartment. You try to get out of a lease, then you find yourself tied up to a chair and they're breaking your fingers with a hammer. So I get my roommate, we're in, we sign up, right, we're in. We move in, everything's going fine for the first few weeks, right? You know, we're having fun. And let me just tell you, you know, the prerequisites I had for this guy was that he was good in math and knew how to bowl. You know, looking back now, those are not good prerequisites for a roommate. Because, I mean, like, after, you know, all the fun and stuff of, like, the first few weeks of moving in together, things start settling down, we start getting into our own little habits. This is when the trust just went right out the window. Because I'm sitting there one day, just, you know, on the couch, eating some, you know, Lucky Charms, which are, like, the best cereal ever. And if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. I'm sitting there watching my cartoons,
He's right.
completely oblivious to everything, when out of his bedroom, he comes completely out naked. Just standing there in all his glory, and you know, you just see it out of the corner of your eye, and you don't really click, you know, until you're just like, you know. And when someone's just standing there naked, there's only one thing you could do, and that's just stare at them, because there's really a loss of words, you know. And the worst part is, not only is he naked, he's just completely drenched, you know. He just got out of the shower, and he's just sitting there all soaked and drenched and stuff. You know, it doesn't even dry off, right? I'm watching my cartoons, and he just walks in front of me, so now my vision, you know, is on this completely naked human being who turns the corner, walks around the coffee table, and sits his naked, wet ass down next to me. And not just like on the next cushion, he's sitting there cheek to cheek. It's just horrible. There goes the trust right out the window, you know? And, you know, let me just get this clear right now. I don't have a problem with nudity. I love nakedness. I'd be naked right now if it weren't for, you know, public statute laws. But, you know, a lot of people are just like, oh man, you know, nudity is, you know, awful, it's, you know, whatever. To me, you know, there's a double standard, and I agree with this. You know, people would much rather look at a naked woman than a naked man. Yeah. It's true. You know, because think about it. Picture a naked woman in your head right now. What do you see? They're soft, they're curvy, they're smooth. If it's your preference, hairless. You know, whatever.
What are you saying?
You know, you got a naked woman, you know, and no matter what they do, they always smell good. Can't explain that. And there's a reason that, like, the ancient Romans, you know, always, you know, had like thousands of paintings and statues devoted to the naked woman. Because it's art, it's beauty. Now picture a man naked, you know, we're rough, you know, we're lumpy. There's no other way to describe it other than we're lumpy, you know. We got hair growing out of every which way. You know, and don't forget Floppy McPenis just blowing in the wind there. You know? I mean, that's, you know, what is that, you know?
Is that a big design?
I mean, how many paintings and statues are there devoted to, like, naked men? There's, like, one, and you know, coincidentally, the statue of David, so. You know, I mean, like, anybody here, man or woman, I guarantee you, like, if I were to stand two people here next to me, let's say we had the world's most gorgeous man, in my opinion, Brad Pitt, you know, and over here, we put a woman, let's say Rosie O'Donnell, circa 1992, when she was in A League of Their Own, when she still looked like a female. You know, we stand both of them here and just rip off their clothes. Everybody here will look at the fat naked chick before they look at him. Why? Floppy McPenis. Now going back to my roommate, he was no Brad Pitt. Even on his best day, he wasn't naked Rosie O'Donnell. This guy was like a demon seed hybrid of like Janet Reno and Sasquatch. You know? Good guy. And that's not even the worst part, because like one thing that, you know, humans can do is that we're able to adapt to any situation. So a few days later, fine, whatever. I got naked roommate. You know, I just don't sit on the couch anymore, no matter how much you Febreze it. That stuff is just not coming off, you know? So like, a few months pass, you know, I forget about the fact that he's naked. And I just had one of those awful days, you know, just one of those days where you just want to, nothing went right, and you just want to come home, throw on your relaxing clothes, you know, cook a nice little hot pocket and just lie down on TV, watching TV. So I come home, I throw on my relaxing clothes, which, you know, you don't wash in like 6 weeks, but they're still comfortable as hell. You know, I walk into the kitchen, open the freezer, I grab myself a little, you know, hot pocket, ham and cheese, walk into the, you know, take it out of the little wrapper, put it on the plate all nice and neat, you know, because you want the radiation to get to everything evenly. I walk to the microwave, open it up, what's staring at me? Pubic hair. No joke, there is pubic hair in the center of the microwave. And not just like one or two little strands. We're talking like a layer of pubic hair. Like somebody threw a cat in there and hit explode. You know, just layers. That right there guaranteed that I would never open a microwave for the rest of my life. Just out of fear that Cousin It would just scream at me going, help. That was just absolutely horrible. That was like one of the worst days ever.